Hey, what's up guys? So today we're going to be talking about Zombieland 2 Double Tap, which is obviously the sequel to the first Zombieland, but 10 years later. In Zombieland 2, we start out with the whole squad living it up in the White House. Everything seems to be going really well. Columbus and Wichita, played by Jesse Eisenberg and Emma Stone, are still together. They're thinking about getting married. Well, Columbus is thinking about getting married. He got a ring, a really fancy ring. It's like a historic, big-ass ring, and he's gonna propose to Wichita. Tallahassee, played by Woody Harrelson, is, still the same cowboy guy. He's got his Twinkies, he's in the White House, he's got guns, he's happier than can be. But Little Rock is feeling confined. Little Rock is obviously kind of unhappy. She doesn't like getting smothered. She doesn't like that she's the child of the group and that Tallahassee feels like he is parenting her. She feels just confined and restricted there. She needs interaction with other people. So when Little Rock and Wichita bail in the middle of the night after Columbus proposes to Wichita, Wichita eventually comes back saying that Little Rock abandoned her for a guy and they're headed on the way to a commune and like he's a pacifist and they need to go help her. So that's basically where the story picks up. It's just everything before then is just kind of lead up until there. Now 10 years is a long time and a lot of things have changed in 10 years. The biggest change is these actors. 10 years ago, besides Woody Harrelson, none of them were really all that big of names. Now, if you remember the trailer for this, it started out with just being like Academy Award nominee this person, Academy Award nominee this person, Academy Award nominee this person, and Academy Award winning this person. All of these people are huge, huge stars now. Like Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, and Abigail Breslin have all gone on to do amazing things. And seeing them all back in this role is weird and awesome, but very weird. Like, this is a movie that we expected 8 years ago, not now. I mean, I'm not arguing with it. It still gives me the same feeling. I'm just as excited about it. Everybody is just as excited about this movie being out now as they would have been 8 years ago. There's a lot of people claiming that, oh, they could just kind of miss the boat. The only reason Zombieland was big was because of the whole zombie craze. And yeah, to an extent, it was big because of the zombie craze. But people still wouldn't be talking about it now if it was just that. Nobody talks about 28 days or 28 weeks later anymore. The Walking Dead is dead. I mean, God, that show has gone on too long. But either way, this isn't about Walking Dead. I can make an entire episode about how The Walking Dead has gone on for about a decade too long. What people really liked about Zombieland was the quirkiness of it, the fun about it, the rules that would flash on screen, like the zombie killed the week, the interaction between these funny-ass characters, especially between Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg. They are a great comedy duo. I don't see them working in any other type of setting besides in the Zombieland movies. But together, so great. Love them. One thing that's kind of minor that I just kind of feel like I have to mention is that I don't think that Jesse Eisenberg and Emma Stone have believable chemistry, especially in the movies. They just kind of seem like they're together out of circumstance, and that's what they touch on in the movies, that maybe they're just together out of circumstance. They're only together because there's no other options. That's why Emma Stone decides to leave him and split for a while, because she feels that's the only reason they're together. And eventually later on in the movie they decide, no, that's not why they're together, they actually love each other, and they might actually love each other. That's completely plausible. I'm not saying they don't. But they probably are together just out of circumstance because they're a guy and a girl around the same age in a zombie apocalypse where the only other two people around are Woody Harrelson and Abigail Breslin. I mean, like if you watch the movies, you'll see that they do not have a chemistry. They're polar opposites of people that in an everyday world would not work together. But, I mean, that's not really as much of a gripe as it is just an observation. They still do it very well. Now, after Wichita splits, Tallahassee and Columbus end up finding this girl that's been like hiding in a freezer for the last 10 years during the zombie apocalypse. She's very ditzy. She's all foofy and wears pink and kind of dumb and very, very, very horny. And just fucks Jesse Eisenberg right off the bat. And right after they have sex for the first time is when Wichita shows back up and tells them that Little Rock is missing and she wants to actually work it out. And then right as she's talking to Columbus about working it out, Madison walks down the stairs talking about how they just had sex. I can't remember the exact line, but that was really funny. But then there's this whole back and forth where she tags along between Zoe Dutch and Emma Stone, where they're kind of bantering back and forth and joking around. Emma Stone's fucking with her. She doesn't realize she is. It's really funny. And she's actually a really good addition. It really spiced it up. At first, I was kind of annoyed. I thought that she would just be there to put some drama in, and she was. But it was very needed drama. She isn't the only new character in this, but she's the only main character, consistent character, I guess. About halfway through the movie, they go to Graceland, the home of the late great Elvis Presley. And they run into 3 new characters. There's Rosario Dawson, who Woody Harrelson takes a liking to, and they end up having like a weird zombie apocalypse fuck buddy relationship. But they also run into like these who are supposed to be like twin characters of Tallahassee and Columbus. And they're played by Thomas Middleditch and Luke Wilson. I think without me telling you, you can kind of figure out who's the twin of who in that scenario. None of this like serves to further the plot in any kind of way. They just show up there, and it's really funny seeing the comparisons and the fact that Thomas Middleditch's character has like commandments while Jesse Eisenberg's character has rules. They just sit there and comparing rules. And then Luke Wilson, Woody Harrelson have like a stare down insult off because they're both sleeping with Rosario Dawson. And then eventually Luke Wilson and Thomas Middleditch go out and they get bitten by zombies, and the other 2 guys have to kill them. Like I said, it doesn't really further the plot any, but it's a lot of fun. And it's right in the middle of the movie, so it's just kind of like a little break to show something funny that I guarantee somebody just thought up in the writing room one day, and they're like, this doesn't fit, but they had to shoehorn it into the movie anyway, and I'm glad they did. Now, this movie by no means is perfect. It's very far from perfect. In fact, I would say that it is only half the movie Zombieland was. I mean, I enjoyed it. It is an enjoyable movie, but I would never watch it a second time. It's more just interesting and cool to see these characters again. But the story itself is nowhere as interesting as the first movie was. And it doesn't have the same charm. Like, the first one captured lightning in a bottle, and this one can't do that again. Like, you can't capture that same charm you got from experiencing all this stuff for the first time again, because basically this movie is pulling what I'd say Anchorman did when Anchorman made a sequel years and years later. It's trying to pull the same story, do the same thing twice, with just some small tweaks in there. Same jokes and everything. Both of those movies are funny. Anchorman 2 is funny, it's not as funny as Anchorman 1. Zombieland 2 is funny, but it's not as funny as the first one. And on top of that, by the end of the movie, nothing seems to be furthered. They're all at the same place they were at the beginning of the movie, or at the end of the first movie. Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg and Emma Stone are back together, and she's agreed to marry him. But that's not a big change. You kind of saw that coming at the end of the first one anyway. They're all just back as a cohesive family. There's nothing at the end of this that really cements the fact that it's different and makes you feel good about where it is now compared to where it was 2 hours ago when you started watching the movie. In fact, they're in a worse place, because in the beginning of the movie, they were in the White House. And now, they're just kind of in the middle of nowhere. You don't know what's next for them. That saying, I don't really want to know what's next for them. I don't want a third one of this. We didn't need the second one, but I'm very happy we got the second one. In no way am I saying that they should not have made this movie, but I really wish they would have given us more of an ending for these characters, because we don't have an ending for these characters. And it worries me that they might try and, pull off a trifecta, and hopefully at the end of that one, if they do, we'll have an ending for these characters. It's not worth going through a whole nother movie and muddying the waters of these movies anymore, because the first one was perfect. This one is good. The next one will be bad. I'm very confident in that, so just leave it where it is. I wish they would have finished off these characters well, told us where they'd be, maybe do like an epilogue or something, I don't know. But don't do a third one, just leave it where it is. What I will say though is that the mid-credit scene in this with Bill Murray, like right when the zombie apocalypse took off, is phenomenal. Bill Murray can make anything better. Part of me wonders if they realized that the ending of this movie was not very satisfactory, and they called up Bill Murray and were like, hey Bill, we need you to improve our movie for us. And he was like, all right, I'm on my way. I kind of feel like that's what happened. But yeah, he did improve it. I was laughing my ass off during this mid-credit scene, so yeah. But that's really all I have to say about this movie. Again, one last time, I'd like to reiterate, not bad, just unneeded, not very satisfactory, but not bad. I still laughed. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out my other videos.